This video is all about how to get started on teaching your horse to follow a target. It assumes you've already loaded the clicker, which I have a video on if you haven't done that yet, but this is kind of the beginning point. So I like to start a lot of these activities with the horse in the stall, and I would not be sticking the target into the stall here if he hadn't worked with it many times before. If your horse is brand new, it's a great idea to just stand outside the stall and kind of hold the target and see if you can get their attention and get them to engage. And nothing's gonna happen in this clip right here because he is way too interested in his ball feeder that's in the stall, which is fine. You actually want them to have an alternative source of food. It keeps them from getting frustrated and grabby and mouthy during training sessions when you're using clicker training. So I actually just decide to leave him alone and go try a different horse. So here I am at a different stall with Finnick, and again, I wouldn't be reaching the target in there to get his attention if this was his first time. I would let him come to it on his own, but he knows what the target is and I know he's not afraid of it at all. And basically, I'm just gonna click and reward anytime he touches it with his nose, because that's the first step. We want them to learn that touching it with their nose is what gets the reward, because we're gonna use this later on to get them to follow the target. So you may have to do a few sessions this way, and I'm gonna move it around to different areas. And you may have already done this when you first loaded the clicker, but this is just a little refresher here. And since he's being calm, I'm gonna open the stall door and ask him to follow the target for a few steps. Some horses will have a really hard time realizing that they actually need to take a step to follow the target. And for that reason, I think it's a good idea not to do too many sessions with them just standing still and touching it with their nose, because that can reinforce that that's the only thing that they're supposed to do. So once you've got them touching it pretty reliably with their nose, it's a good idea to go ahead and move on to rewarding after they've taken a step to touch it. And you might get stuck at the spot where they're only taking 1 or 2 steps. Some horses take longer than others. Finnick here took to it pretty quickly, and I can reliably get him to follow the target for long distances now without him getting too distracted in between. But right here, just in the barn aisle, I am showing you good things to do with a horse when it's their first time. So ideally you want to start just having them take a couple steps and then clicking and rewarding. I am gonna walk down the barn aisle and then back up the barn aisle. And after he's really good at 1 or 2 steps, I'm going to start reinforcing after 4 steps, then 6 steps, then 8, and just kind of increasing like that. If you find a place where your horse just like quits wanting to engage, just go back to 1 or 2 steps. Sometimes turning can be a little more challenging, so it's ideal to start just asking them to walk in a straight line. I'm doing a lot more turning here so I can stay in the frame. But anyway, that is how to get them started following a target. It's something I use with a lot of the other things that I teach, so it's a really good skill to have. Thanks for watching.